Hello everyone, this is the lovely Miss Di, and today I'm going to make a video response to a video that I've wanted to make a response to for a long time, but because of other things going on in my life I haven't had the time, but today I have the time to address it. This video response is to the lovely AfroQween. Hey mom, how are you? You always do an incredible job with your videos, and that this particular one, the Deprogram Our Babies, I think that you did a wonderful job with this video, and it's important to me because I love children. The last major I was in dealt with children, and I really think that as adults, even though I'm not an older adult, everybody over the age of 21 ought to take an interest in children because it takes a village to raise a child. That being said, we do live in a technological age. It's just the sign of the times. Computers, cell phones, all this technology. But children need to be guided and need to be taught what the computer is supposed to be used for, not just as a radio, not just as a place to watch videos, not just as a place to play games and chat, instant message and all that other stuff. It's really supposed to be used at their age for educational, i.e. research purposes and homework purposes. I think that, I think that, I think that computer privileges, if your child is under the age of 18 and living at home, should be given based on the maturity of the child. Just because the child is 16 doesn't mean that they're mature enough to know how to use the internet without getting into cyberbullying or verbal tug of wars with people on Facebook or MySpace or Twitter. So you have to know your child in order to set those parameters. And during the week, if I was a parent, not that much time would be spent on the computer, especially during the week, because the only purpose that it would be used for during the week would be educational purposes, and it would be in the family room so I could monitor the usage. And then if the homework was finished, if they wanted to play a game, it would, or surf the net, it would be limited to an hour. Because I would be promoting activities outside of the computer, like school-related activities, church-related activities, or anything going on in the community so that my children are socialized well and that they know something else beyond just chatting or instant messaging or texting. And there's no reason why teenagers need to have all that access to a cell phone unless they are needing to be picked up by a parent or needing to be contacted by a relative. I'm not saying that children shouldn't talk on the phone, but having all this access to phone calls and text messages, especially in a time when we're dealing with sexting, which is where teenagers engage in sending sexually explicit pictures of themselves to other people, and some teenage boys have had to register as sex predators because of forwarding explicit pictures to their friends. These people are not mature enough to handle the responsibility of using technology, and people need to understand with the freedom of using it comes responsibility, and that's where you as a parent come in, gauging what emotional level is my child on? Is that child prone to bully other people or be engaged in computer cowardly behavior? Because if they are, then that person cannot be trusted with opening the floodgates of access. And as parents, we should be smarter than children, monitoring the computer, knowing what websites your child visits, and monitoring the time that they're on there, knowing who they talk to, if they are on any message boards or YouTube, MySpace, or any of that. There's no reason that if a child is early teen, tween, whatever, that you don't have access to the passwords and you don't know what's going on in your child's life. Don't be trying to be that hip, cool parent, so much so that you forget to be a parent and set limits and boundaries for what is going on, and involve your children in some type of activities beyond the computer. Because the way it's coming up now is that children who spend too much time on that have not developed the social skills that they need to, and putting the computer in place of face-to-face interaction. And they need to understand that not everybody can be trusted on the internet. Don't give out personal information. Don't trust these people as though you know them. And exercise some restraint and caution when you're on there. And if you cannot trust your child to make these responsible, mature decisions, there are many programs that you can get to set parental controls, and that includes the time they spend on there. Certain types of websites can be blocked. Even you can block gaming websites if they're too busy playing games and doing homework. I know the job is not to be a warden, but people need to have boundaries. You can't be so dead set on being your child's friend and forget to give them rules. Because if they can't abide by simple rules of the house, how do you expect them to go out into society and follow their rules? The arm of correction starts at home. You shouldn't have to rely on a teacher to set parameters as far as internet usage, or give your child rules on how to do it, when you can sit down and talk to your child about what appropriate internet behavior is. And make sure that your child is interacting with people their own age that they can see, and make sure that they're socialized the way they should be and not just relying on a computer. And if your child is a bully, please don't sweep it under the rug. It's just the computer, because many kids are being killed or attacked as a result of what is going on. And so there needs to be appropriate consequences given for the age of the child, and maybe taking the computer privileges away. On another end, if your child is a victim of cyberbullying and it's taking place with people at the child's school, there's no reason as a parent that you cannot get involved and try to figure out who these individuals are, and that you don't send your kids to go to school in a war zone. Sure, everybody is teased. That happens. Kids can be cruel, but it shouldn't get to the point where a child is jumped or beaten or even killed. Prevent that as a parent by knowing what's going on and being clued in. Don't be oblivious to what is going on. If your child won't talk to you, investigate. I'm not saying be Sherlock Holmes, but you should know what's going on in your own home. Nobody else should be a better expert than you on what's going on with your child. I understand we live in a tough economy and people are just trying to scrape these pennies together just to support a family. But don't get so caught up in work that you barely know your own child and you're having to find out from other parents what's going on. Be a parent. Be a responsible parent. Don't let TV and technology raise your child. That's your job. And they should be held accountable for their behavior and given discipline when appropriate if the behavior is out of order. But primarily, as a minor, most of the responsibility falls on the parent. And I think it's irresponsible just to give free reign and not have any idea what's going on. If you don't know much about technology, read, take a course, be informed on what's going on, know the lingo of what is being used, so if you see an inappropriate text message or an email, you know what's going on and how to respond to it. Don't be afraid to get in there, and you might have to give some tough love. Kids are faced with a lot, and this technology has not made it any easier because with all this freedom, you're anonymous. If you don't put a picture up, who knows who that person is? And it's made people bolder and bolder and bolder. And your first priority is to be a responsible parent and try to protect your kids from that type of stuff. And the way to do that is to have conversations with them. Like I said, gauge their maturity level and to stay aware of what's going on. Well, that's all that I'm going to say on that topic. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.